Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Kiss Army Things podcast. This is episode 145. My name is Xander.
My name is Daphne.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here on episode 145, talking all things Kiss. So we have a short episode for you today, just a couple of updates, but you're going to want to stay tuned to the end because I have a little update about the Kiss Museum and the relaunch of Kiss Museum, so don't miss that. Thank you for being here. And if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. All Daphne and I do around here is just talk about Kiss albums, Kiss music, Kiss merch, Kiss fans. And so you guys are a big part of that. And so we love everybody who watches our show. And so thank you guys for joining us, supporting us. And if you want to support us even more, you can become a member of our Patreon. So shout out to the ones who are already subscribed. We really appreciate you guys. You can become a member by clicking the link in the description. 7-day free trial. You get a bunch of bonus extra content, of course, the newsletter, and some various other things. But we want to just say thank you to everybody who does support us. And also, thank you, Daphne, for being back. I know you. It's been a couple weeks.
Yes, I feel like
busy.
It's been like almost a month since I've been here. I do a lot of like local community theater, and I was in a musical that was taking up a lot of my time.
Yep.
So it just was not really practical for me to film for a minute.
And then there was one weekend you were selling your art, so
there's just been a lot going on.
You've been busy, but hey, it's always good to have you around here.
I'm happy to be back.
I think everybody missed you, so I'm glad to have you back. And I know that you've been listening to some Kiss.
Yes, I have
in the meantime. Yes, so I'm excited to hear what your spotlight is, what you've been jamming, although I'm going to share it too. I'm going to kind of like co-sign your spotlight.
That's fine.
But it is your spotlight,
yes,
so go ahead.
My spotlight today is Hot in the Shade.
Yeah.
It just feels right. Even though this album, I don't think came out in the summertime, right? Isn't it like January or something? October, something. Yeah.
I think it was an October release.
For some reason, not for some reason, for obvious reasons, this is just a summer album to me.
It's the quintessential.
And it has been so hot here in Indiana, like 90 plus degrees every single day.
And the heat index makes it even hotter.
Yeah, I was saying closer to 100 a lot of times.
Humidity's crazy.
And so I wanted to listen to Kiss the other day, and this was the only thing that popped into my mind, and it just felt right.
I wonder why it spoke to you.
Yeah, I wonder. But I've been jamming it ever since, and then you and I started jamming it, because the other day we were going for a car ride that was going to be about a half hour or so. And I was like, because normally we try and kind of keep our spotlights a little bit secret.
Right.
But I was like, can I spoil mine so we can listen to Hot in the Shade in the car, please?
I said,
and you were
absolutely.
Like, yes. So we've been jamming. I absolutely love this album. It has so many solid songs, so many underrated Kiss songs, I think.
Yep.
What was the one we were talking about this time? Was it...
Love Me to Hate You.
Love Me to Hate You.
Love Me to Hate You had the ones where it was Paul was layering and harmonizing with himself.
Yes, the layered Paul vocals.
And he was pushing it to the limit.
It's incredible. I think it's such an underrated song, and I think there's so many underrated songs on this album, and some of my favorite Kiss songs, like...
Paul's songs, I think, Silver Spoon.
No, oh my gosh, that one's fantastic. I mean, obviously, Hide Your Heart is... No, I wouldn't say underrated. It's... most people love it, but it is definitely one of my favorites. Forever's on this album. King of Hearts. Oh my gosh, the Paul songs go crazy on this album.
By the way, guys, it is raining, so if you hear the pitter-patter of the rain, I apologize.
Yep, hopefully, sorry. It literally just started right as we were filming.
Yeah, I know, and at first I was like, there's no way it'll pick it up, but I think last week our neighbor was mowing, and you could hear the mower, and then it would go away. And then you would hear it come back, so...
Well, hopefully the consistency of rain will be a nicer sound than just a mower on and off.
Enjoy the sweet sounds of southern Indiana.
Exactly.
Where the lawns are mowing... Yeah, the lawns are mowing. The lawns are being
and
mowed.
The rain is raining.
The rain is falling. Tears are falling. We'll get to Asylum stuff here in a little bit, but yes, tears are falling right now. The rain is falling.
I also wore my Hot in the Shade shirt today,
specifically
for this.
Oh, you're themed and ready to go.
Because we've been jamming it so much, and I absolutely love this vintage shirt. It's one of my few vintage shirts, so I felt like I had to break it out.
And it's really in perfect condition,
it's
too.
It's so good.
Because I have a couple of 80s shirts, and they don't look anything like that.
Yeah, this one is so nice. I'm so happy with it.
I mean, I have 90s shirts and 2000 shirts that look worse than that.
Yeah.
So whoever, had that one, I do remember when you bought that.
Yeah, they must not have wore it much, because it is in great condition.
You got that off one of those t-shirt auction pages
I think it was
or whatever.
I can't remember what it's called. Whatnot, I think it's what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's always some good deals on vintage rock t-shirts. And that one you got for a pretty
decent price. I can't remember, but it was like $30-$40 maybe, something like that.
I was going to say you got it for at least half off,
yeah.
which was really good.
Yeah.
No, I love that shirt. Glad you wore it. Perfectly fits in with your Kiss Spotlight. My Kiss Spotlight, I'm not repping mine, although I probably could have, maybe should have, and I wish I had them. But anyway, so my Kiss Spotlight this week is Monster.
Nice.
International
you could have
Tour
with
Edition.
the new Monster shirt that I got you for
I know,
your birthday.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I could have easily worn my Monster shirt, but I didn't. I kind of dispaced it. I'm really digging the more simplistic shirts nowadays with the Kiss Army logo.
You do love that.
Just the basic Kiss logo. Anyway, so yes, Monster is my Kiss spotlight. I'm a little early this year.
Yeah, usually you don't start until the fall.
Because this album is a perfect fall album.
It is, yeah.
Of course, it came out in the fall, so I just listened to it in the fall, and it has that, it just coincides. It's that nostalgic. It's
something about that grimier, like, heavier rock and roll.
Yeah, it's got a warm, crispy, rock sound to it, very vintage sounding rock.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like it's, overproduced or anything, but yeah, it works really well in the fall, and I'm not sure what made me want to jam it in the summertime, but I think it makes for just as good of a summer album too. Back to the Stone Age, Shout Mercy. I mean, both of these albums are good for jamming or cruising to.
Yes, for driving.
And I had this one in my car already, and then when you wanted to add that one, I was like, "Bring it on, let's do it." So, and I'm thinking I might actually put that one back in the car because I had this one for on rotation for about a week or so. So that one I think might actually go back in the car. Because I ain't done with Hot in the Shade yet.
I don't blame you.
But yeah, everybody knows already how I feel about Monster. Everybody knows I love it. So I'm not gonna go too deep into it. But yes, I generally do listen to the International Tour Edition version.
Okay.
Because that one has Right Here, Right Now. The bonus track, which to me is every bit as part of the album as all those other songs.
Agreed.
I think when they were originally going to release Monster, they said it was going to be 15 songs. And then it got bumped down to 10, and I think 12 or 13 got released. I think 12 maybe with 13, number 14 being Right Here, Right Now. So it was 13 songs. So it makes me wonder what that other one was.
Right, what was dropped? I want to know.
Yeah, if 14 was Right Here, Right Now, what was the other song that they were going to... We know it's not Are You Ready, because that became Eat Your Heart Out.
Right.
So maybe it's one that we haven't heard yet.
Interesting.
That's a fun one to see. Yeah. I can't wait for, hopefully in 20 years, there'll be like a Monster box set, or there'll be a Monster vault or whatever it is.
So much we didn't know.
So that we can get some of those demos and some of those unreleased stuff, because that's my Kiss right there. But yes, I've been jamming the International Tour Edition, and this one must have come out after the whole debacle with the Monster Energy.
Yes, I forgot about
that. Because this one is... What's on the magazine right behind you there? With the 3D glasses?
This one?
That's got the O, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does with the...
Okay, perfect. So, there's lots of different releases as far as Monster goes. But yes, I'm always going back to...
Solid album.
The International Tour Edition, just because it has the full thing. But I gotta admit, I'm Hot in the Shade. Like I said, I'm going to co-sign that one, because once you put that one in, I was like... This one's got to stay in here because it's, again, perfect for summertime.
Yeah.
Cadillac Dreams is so much fun. We even joked about listening to that one on the way to Cadillac this fall.
Yeah, which we plan on.
If we end up going to Cadillac. We got Cadillac Dreams, so, don't you take this from me.
Also, yesterday, I didn't mention this, but yesterday after we listened to this a couple times, I had Read My Body stuck in my head for the rest of the day, to the point where it was like getting genuinely annoying, and you were trying to play other random songs to get stuck in my head, and it did not work.
It was, there's songs that like get stuck in your head, but this one was bullying you.
And I love this song, it was aggressive.
You were being bullied by this song. It was like you just could not get away from it.
We listened to so many other things, and then not 20 minutes later, I'd start singing it again, and I was like, oh my gosh.
I tried, Gangnam Style.
Yeah, you tried a bunch of, 2010s, random.
I tried the most earworm songs ever to try and get that out, and it didn't work.
It's a great song, though.
It is a fun song. The one thing that you were commenting on was how much the key changes in that song.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I don't think I ever really fathomed how high Paul gets. It just keeps going up and up and up every chorus, I feel like. Yeah. It reminds me, it reminded me of, not in any other way other than the modulations, but it reminded me in that way of, there's a Chicago song.
Oh, you're good. You can put it
Sorry,
up.
I thought you wanted it.
I'm playing with the table.
There's a Chicago song called You're the Inspiration that has a whole bunch of key changes and just keeps getting higher and higher throughout the song, so it reminded me of that.
That's awesome. I think Hot in the Shade is one of the better album reviews that we've done. It's one of my favorite
Me too.
album reviews that we've done.
Because that's one where we really dug into the lyrics, which is my favorite thing to do, and I feel like even though we both had a lot of our own thoughts ahead of time, talking about it on the show, we uncovered themes that we hadn't even fathomed or thought about before. Yep. So that was really cool. So if you haven't seen our Hot in the Shade review, check it out.
And we had a little world built in. It took place in this mythical city. Hide Your Heart. King of Hearts.
Yes.
All these songs were taking place.
It was all connected.
Yeah.
Naked City, yeah.
Well, that's Unmasked.
That's Unmasked.
But still, yeah. All those songs are taking place in that this make-believe fictional city that that Kiss is, playing in or whatever. But anyway, so yeah, I think it's funny how we're already talking about the 80s because really the biggest thing this week was the merch drop for Asylum.
Asylum, yep.
So I didn't think it was going to be this early. The album isn't until September.
Oh my gosh.
That's
I didn't realize.
The anniversary isn't until, I think it's the 40th, isn't until this September. And June 24th, just a couple days ago, was when they launched.
I wonder why.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's a good thing on one hand because it used to be the merch releases were so late that whenever the pre-order and then by the time they were fulfilled and it got to you,
you're way past
it was
the
past the anniversary. It was almost like they were doing the drops on the day of the anniversary.
Yeah.
And then for a minute, it was like they were doing it in time for it to get there. But now it's like...
3 months ahead of time seems like a lot.
3 months, a whole... Yeah, it's a little wild.
Yeah, why don't we do late July, early August maybe, if you want to make sure people get things on time. But
yeah.
Whatever. I guess better early than late.
Yeah, I woke up June 24th. Kiss Online had a bunch of merch. And so, have you looked through it at all?
I glanced at it once, but I didn't look too deep into it because I kind of figured we would.
Yeah, I saw some people posting, but I was like, you know what? Let's go through it here on the show because I have it pulled up here.
On first glance, I'll be honest, nothing stuck out to me, but
nothing stuck out to me, and I'm hoping nothing does because right now is not a good time.
That's so true.
So Xander is going to be extra picky right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Usually Xander isn't very picky, but let's go ahead and be picky and start out with the bundle because there's always the picture disc bundle, which has been already sold out.
Yeah.
So that's to be expected. These things go very quickly, these bundles. But here we have the Asylum 40th Anniversary Picture Disc, Limited Edition, and Asylum World Tour T-shirt for $170. So, of course, you just get the standard album, A and B, side A and side B. But I want to look at the actual album itself. I wish there was a better picture of it, because look at that.
The picture disc looks cool.
Do you see...
Oh, it's different than I see it from far away. I thought it was just kind of like those colorful little streaks that are on the front. But it's not. It's like
no, it's the band members. It looks like so. It says Asylum on it across it with the band members in about 3 or 4 different colors.
Yeah, it's like split into the different colors.
That's pretty cool. That's really cool. I think that's a really unique design because it goes. It's different than the regular.
I do wish there was a photo of the whole thing and not just a little sliver of it.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't actually have a picture of the whole item front and back. But I think it is a little bit better of a design than the standard swirls they've been doing and all that. I've noticed that they went ahead and put the Japanese...
I was going to say the same thing. Is that a Japanese, obi strip?
They have an obi strip, yeah,
okay.
with Japanese lettering. So I don't know if that's just because Kiss fans are suckers for Japanese stuff.
Maybe.
Or,
that's kind of random, I feel like.
Whatever it is. But they went ahead and added, a Japanese obi strip. But it looks like it comes with some goodies here. Because I'm seeing... Let's see if we can just get a list of it. Maybe it'll say what it comes with. Okay, so we have an iron-on T-shirt transfer sheet and a brand new double-sided poster.
Okay.
Each vinyl is individually numbered and exclusive here at the Kiss store.
The shirt is okay.
So this right here on the back, or this is the front.
That's the front.
That's the front. Okay, so the back has Asylum World Tour. The front looks like a mix between the Hottest Show on Earth Tour and End of the Road.
Yeah,
so it's
like the explosion plus the gold 3D logo.
So it's whatever. It's fine. Again, we're not buying it, so who cares?
Right.
Now it does look like the vinyl by itself is still available, and you get a different looking record with this. So this one is just the standard release. Now this looks pretty cool. So this one is wait, what? Why is this one $100 more?
I know, that's why, because it still has a shirt. Is it literally just $100 less because there's no post? I mean, there is still a poster.
There is still a poster. It's a different poster.
Is it just because of all the Japan stuff? That's so silly.
Wow. So you're getting so it's $100 more just because it's a picture disc? This was a color LP.
This is still a color LP with cool colored streaks on it. That seems ridiculous. I feel like I'm missing something.
I like this poster better. Yeah, that's really weird. I don't. There is no justification for that being $100 more. In my eyes.
That's really odd.
Very, very odd indeed. I almost like this poster better.
It's like it doesn't have the, the picture disc is different and there's not as many inserts / Japan obi strip kind of stuff, but that's not worth $100.
Nope, I agree. Definitely not. Love that poster though. I wish I could see some more of the actual color LP, but yeah, no, I like the picture disc design still with the the band members being in different colors, kind of So here's another t-shirt we have. This one just has a nice vintage wash to it. I like the way it looks. It almost looks like it's been like, you got paint on it.
Yeah, it's one of those that's meant to look beat up and old. Yeah.
That's kind of fun. $60, not for $60.
They said it's an upcycled t-shirt, so is it actually like...
Upcycled. What's that
Each
even
tee
mean?
is truly one of a kind, sourced from post-consumer vintage materials, then reworked, dyed, and printed in the USA. That's cool. So worked with somebody called Lost Love.
Wow. Very cool.
Very
okay, so they're...
sustainable.
So they're repurposing and recycling material from old vintage shirts.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
That's really cool.
I like that.
What a way to reuse material instead of wasting it.
I like that because there are that is such a big thing nowadays to have the vintage looking stuff that's not actually vintage, but this is cool because it kind of is, and it's kind of in a less wasteful way. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, most of the time I don't really care for shirts that are made to look vintage. This one I'm okay with.
I was going to say,
looks cool.
Yeah.
The only problem here is that once it does start to get worn out, it's gonna wear easily.
Yeah. Plus, I don't love the accept no imitations real big.
Yeah. That I wonder where that came from. I've seen that on some kind of promoting material.
Now, is this a shirt with all 4 band members on it?
I think we've, for the first time in a long time, have a t-shirt with all 4 members of KISS
that is
from
awesome.
the 80s. Unfortunately, it's
just
a raglan shirt. I wish it wasn't one of those
baseball tees. I'm not the biggest fan of baseball tees, but I do love the design.
Finally.
I do love that finally we have all 4 members, especially unmasked. That just does not happen.
No, Asylum World Tour 85, 86 on the back.
That's pretty cool.
With the full band, and that one, that is Asylum. That looks Asylum as can be. That's the back image on the back of the album.
Yeah, I quite like that one.
That one's really cool. Again, I don't really care for that style, but if I were to get this, see, that one's 45. How is this one 45 and the other one's 60?
Which one's 60?
Is it because of the upcycle material?
It's got to be, yeah, because they're working with some third party.
Must be.
Company, yeah.
So,
and yet the t-shirt just has Gene and Paul.
Nope, this one's Bruce and Eric.
No way!
This one is just Bruce and Eric.
Why? Interesting.
So there was a t-shirt that they released at some point. I don't know if it was last year, but there was a t-shirt that they released that looked just like this.
But Gene and Paul.
But with
That's
just
what I
Gene
thought
and
it
Paul.
was before you clicked on it.
And everybody got upset because it was like, are you kidding me?
Like, why?
Like, how many hoops do we have to jump through to get you guys to put Eric and Bruce on a damn t-shirt?
Yeah.
And so the shirt got removed.
Right.
It got so much backlash that
they took it down.
That KOL took it down. And then here they are teasing us now with one called
funny.
B&E.
B&E, they don't even say their names?
Nope,
no, they do. They do
here, but it's called B&E. Breaking and entering. No. B&E t-shirt. So it features a KISS logo with image of Bruce and Eric in Asylum color scheme. Design is printed on white.
Like, I'm almost down with a shirt that just has the 2 of them on it, but the design is just so weird because it's so obviously a photo that's meant to have 4 people in it that it just looks so empty. It
is a weird choice. I thought they're definitely like poking fun at us for
the drama
for that. Which, this shirt we don't need to look at because we already know.
Same.
Oh no!
What?
Oh no! What's this? All they did was they rehashed the Animalized T-shirt from last time.
Oh, you're right.
This is the exact same design from Animalized, just with Asylum put on it.
You're right.
Oh man, that's lazy. I mean, I guess they did play, those same instruments on the 80s, but when I look at that, I think Animalized, because that's the Animalized design.
Well, yeah, and that's an animal print guitar. That's what you think of immediately as Animalized.
Yeah.
Even if they did use that guitar later on.
Well, they had shirts and everything with those exact cross guitar designs, so...
And I don't hate the shirt. Like, it's kind of cool, but you're right, it is a rehashed design.
Dang.
It's also just very yellow. I don't know. It's fun.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would get it.
Oh, perfect. Here we go. See? That's all we need.
Yeah.
Oh, snap. This might be the one that I get eventually. It's still $40, which is ridiculous. I'm not going to a concert, but this is the shirt that just has the album cover
classic and has all four
members,
on it.
Logo, and then on the back, Asylum World Tour 85, 86.
That's a solid shirt.
That's it right there. Yes, exactly. That's all you need right there. That's all you had to do. Perfect. I love that one.
It's not that hard.
$40, probably not right now, but that's the one that I would probably get. Love that. Oh, they did bring it back.
They brought it back.
Oh, they did bring it back. We do have the shirt with just Gene and Paul.
I guess they thought
now,
as long as we have a B&E one too, we can have GMP.
Yes, but now this one, of course, isn't called GMP.
I know,
it's just called Asylum,
it was.
And it has them with their instruments this time.
Yeah.
And it looks like the back is just them two their faces, Gina Paul. What a weird...
That's, strange design.
That one's only $35, okay. These would look fun.
Ooh, we got like a
Tears
tie-dye
Are Falling
tank top.
tie-dye tank. That's pretty trippy. That's pretty 80s.
It's kind of a lot going on.
It's a lot. I mean,
it's hard to even read.
It's not our style, but I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's very 80s, very good. That would keep you cool in the summertime. You know, a black t-shirt, attracts the sun. Looks like it's raining. Someone stole your heart. So another Tears Are Falling women's tank. It's pretty cool.
I don't like the design. I don't like the handwritten, like...
Yeah. It's whatever. I mean, it'll keep you cool, I guess.
See, I wish they had better tanks. Because I want more Kiss tank tops. I only have, like, one or two.
Maybe we should go to the regular store at some point and look for the tanks.
Maybe, because I feel like all the ones I see are...
Yeah.
Well, and no offense, but, like, when they... A lot of times... And this is not just Kiss, this is everybody. But a lot of times when they try and make, like, women's shirts and women's tank tops... They just completely do something way different in left field with the designs instead of just putting the same cool designs on a women. Like, I don't want, like, a purple, like, pink handwritten, like,
no.
Give me those same cool designs, but on a women's tank top. Is it
Facts.
that hard?
That's a good point. The women's stuff is always, like...
No. They just try and make it real girly, and, like, sometimes that works, but...
But most of the time you can tell it's just, This is cool, though. Asylum towel. I think this is the...
That's pretty cool.
I think this is the one random item that you like to see.
I
always like to see the one random... Because they always do the shirts and the hoodies, or not hoodies now because it's summertime, but they always do the same stuff.
Right.
I like the one random one they do.
That is cool. I like the colors on that.
$50 is ridiculous.
For a beach towel, that better be a big, high-quality beach towel.
And guess what? It doesn't even say the size.
No, it doesn't.
Doesn't even tell you how big it is. That's weird.
I hope it's one of those massive ones.
If it's a beach towel, it definitely is, and it looks super cool.
It does look cool.
Like, this is
I like that.
I could see this coming out back in the 80s.
Yeah,
$50, that. I'll never own it, but, like, man... If that was $25, even $30, I would get that. If that was $30, I would get that easily.
Yeah, I like that.
Very, very cool indeed. Oh no, they did it again.
Is this also Animalized?
Yeah, it's the same.
Rehash?
It's the same Animalized, but just with the Asylum wash.
Guitar pin.
Asylum. Set. Yeah, I mean it's 80s Kiss. It's fine. It's whatever. But it's a complete rehash. Another Raglan shirt with a whatever design. I don't even know at this point. I feel like I'm just shitting on these. I'm not trying to. I'm just being honest. Maybe there was something like that on the tour, and it's it's an homage to.
It's a throwback.
What do we know? And then they have the Asylum LP and the CD. So, okay, whatever.
Kind of
mid, but you know
but not bad.
Kind of mid, but I think we need mid because if it's not, then I got to go and buy something.
That's so true. Sometimes
I ain't
it's
doing
nice.
that. Sometimes you're like, oh, thank goodness, it's boring stuff.
For real, I'm the same way. Like, not to bring up Taylor Swift as I do all the time, but I'm the same way every time Taylor Swift's website drops merch because honestly, her merch, at least over the last couple of years, has kind of sucked.
Well, it's kind of like Kiss. It's all like, it's just basic stuff.
But they drop stuff like every few months, and so I'm always really excited, and then when I hate it, I'm like, okay, that's kind of good. That's too expensive anyway.
I'm hoping that maybe at the end of the year, when they do their Kissmas sale, some of that stuff will drop, because I would love to get that regular Asylum shirt and the beach towel, but those two items are over $100.
Right, for a shirt and a towel.
That's $90, not including tax and shipping.
Yeah.
It's like, for a towel and a shirt. Yeah, I think Kiss Online has priced me out. But anyway, the point is that we got to go see it, got to look at it. It's very colorful. They got some really cool stuff. I think they did some
cool stuff, some mid stuff.
Some cool stuff, some mid stuff, just, regular stuff. It's really, really cool. I think 2025 is quickly becoming the year of Asylum. Because we're doing the 4th anniversary of the merch drop. Yeah. We just had the off the soundboard.
Yep, that's true.
From the Asylum tour, and we got some new artwork with that, a fold out poster from Asylum. So this whole year so far has just been Asylum
themed.
Yeah, and we ain't even done. Again, the actual anniversary isn't until September.
Right.
So yeah, spring, now summer, and then fall. Early fall will be just all Asylum. So
I love it.
All in all, that's the best part about it is getting getting Asylum stuff and getting to celebrate Bruce Kulick and Eric Carr, celebrate non-makeup Kiss.
Yep, that's what it comes down to.
40 years of great music. We're going to review that album too in September.
I can't wait.
We're going to be Asylum is actually one of those albums that you think it's at your bottom until you listen to it and you're like, snap, this goes.
Banger after banger.
Happens to, again, Hot in the Shade, one of those ones too. We're like, it's glorified demos. And it's like, oh, these are fire though. You know what I mean? It's like, so I'm looking forward to September. Not only do you have Asylum 40th on September 10th. But I think the 16th of September, just a week after that almost, is Kiss Alive 50th anniversary.
Oh, nice.
So you got a 40th and a 50th right back to back.
That's awesome.
And that's going to be a busy month. For us, for you, for Kiss, for everybody.
That's great.
So, yeah, stay tuned for that. But anyway, let me know what you guys thought about the Asylum merch. What did you guys get? What were you excited about? What did you maybe not like? Or what were you hoping to see that you didn't see? Did something just completely blow your mind and it was over the top? Let us know what you guys got, what you guys pre-ordered. And we're going to keep it moving now because this got past me. Again, that was the big news. Everything out now is just kind of like,
random stuff.
Supplementary and stuff like that. But this one got past me. I didn't realize that there was another Rock and Brews opening up.
Oh, I didn't know that either. Where at?
In Oklahoma.
Okay.
At the Indigo Sky Casino.
Okay.
Let's see, today's the 28th that we're recording, so the 26th, just a couple days ago, was the grand opening of the Rock and Brews. And I got the Indigo Sky Casino in Oklahoma. And Gene was there at the ribbon cutting, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
Usually one or both of them will make an appearance, and they try and do some big thing about it. So that's how I heard about it when it was like Gene Simmons here at the ribbon cutting. I'm like, wait, what? How come nobody's talking about this? I mean, maybe nobody else cares, but I was like, that's really cool. Another Rock and Brews going up. Gene's making an appearance. He was there at the ribbon cutting, and oh my gosh, it was like the city council or whatever on stage with him.
Yeah.
Because it's, I've been to many ribbon cuttings. I reported on them.
Right.
When I worked
for our town, yep.
When I worked at our newspaper, when, the mayor always shows up and you have all these business people and they do a ceremonial ribbon cutting and they shake hands, get a photograph, and then, all right, we're out of there. Anyway, but this little short 56-year-old lady standing next to Gene had the microphone and she called him out in the best way possible.
I'm not sure you can believe what he says, because when he first met me, he leaned over and said to me, I like girls. And I'm not one to let people have the last voice. And I leaned up to him and said, I like girls too.
And for the first time in this man's life, he was speechless.
For the first time in his life, he was speechless.
And Gene's looking over like, yep, and he's like, I can't believe it. And then he goes, yeah, but what else did I say to you? What else did I say to you?
Did I say anything else to you?
Yes, you invited me to your room. And he gave me the room number of 1413. I've been here. We ain't got such a number.
Girls too, yeah. And it was something. He was. I guess he had been messing with her, and so she was messing with him. And it was so much fun on stage. You could tell that the other people on the city council were loving it too, having a good time. So Gene was and he was of course really thankful to be there, and was thanking all the people that were involved in everything. And I did some, not research, but I went back and looked because I did recall an article in 2024 where I think Paul Stanley had been there at the breaking of the ground. So it had been reported last year that there was going to be...
that was being built.
And then it was just kind of as far as mass news, nothing. And then all of a sudden, here comes the ribbon cutting. Gene's there,
awesome.
ceremony, and he did a free concert. Gene played a free concert at the casino that night at 8 p.m. For any of the patrons that were there.
That's amazing.
I'm sure the casino paid him, a fee to be there, but the patrons didn't have to pay a ticket.
That's awesome.
To get in. If you were there at Rock and Brews at the grand opening, you got your meal, you got your drink at the bar.
And you got your entertainment.
If you showed up,
from Gene Simmons.
Then Gene Simmons was there. And it was the Gene Simmons band.
That's so
I guess
cool.
they have a stage in most of these Rock and Brews, if not all. This one definitely has a stage built in so they can have live acts.
That makes sense.
Perform and, get local bands in. So, but Gene was the first one to play, and I was listening to a little bit when you walked in the room to film.
Mm-hmm.
I had my phone up and was listening to a little bit of Deuce.
Yeah.
So I haven't watched a lot of it yet, but it was just good to see Gene's band getting up there. They did a handful of shows, we know, earlier this year. Not as many as they thought. So we know those guys love getting up and playing. And they did a great job, even though I haven't seen the set list yet. I was looking for a full set list. Maybe it's just too early. Maybe it wasn't treated as a full show. Maybe there was only a handful of songs played. This was all just new to me. I found out the day of that this was happening.
This was yesterday? Or 2 days ago?
2 days ago.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
2 days ago, I think, Gene was, down there in Oklahoma at the Rock and Brews. I was like, oh, fantastic. There you go. I still got to get out to one.
I was going to say, that's still a goal of ours, hopefully this year.
It's a bucket list, which sounds stupid, but like...
Well, because, I mean, honestly, there's not any that are super close to us, so I think we've determined we have to go to... Is it St. Louis or something like that?
I think it's in Missouri.
Missouri, okay.
I think, Missouri is the closest one to us.
Okay. So, and it's not super, super far, but we just have to...
Yeah.
Make the trip there, but I definitely want to.
Yeah, I really thought that they would have moved more west.
Yes, more Midwest.
Or east, I guess, because they're already on the West Coast.
Right. I'm surprised
LAX
the's not more in the Midwest area. There's
I'm really surprised.
spattering, but not really in our area.
Is there any in Florida?
Surely. Do you want me to look it up?
You can if you want, because I feel like the places that they should be...
Tourist spots.
The Florida, Myrtle Beach... Indianapolis, let's face it. Probably could do one in Chicago as well.
Yes, there are many in Florida.
Okay, but that makes sense. That makes sense.
3 pop up. I don't know if there's more than that, but yeah.
At least 3.
There's,
so yeah,
Orlando, a couple other places. Yeah.
Yeah, there could easily be one. I think in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
Indy and Chicago.
Right.
And if you wanted,
I'm surprised there's not one in Chicago at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is just, maybe there is and we're just missing it. I don't know, but
I don't think so.
But anyway, it's cool to see that they're making more Rock and Brews. It seems to be pretty successful. I love Applebee's, and this seems like Applebee's, but with rock and roll.
Yeah.
But maybe even a little bit better.
Maybe even fancier, yeah.
Maybe a little bit fancier, I don't know. So, yeah. Anyway, Ace is playing a show nearby here.
Is he?
In Louisville.
Oh, wow.
Here in a few weeks. I really want to go. I gotta find out how.
I didn't know about this. Okay.
Yeah, I knew about it, but I was like, yeah, I just saw Ace. So maybe not, but now I'm like, I kind of want to go. I think it's in Louisville, and he's playing with I can't remember who he's playing with. I think it's like Great White and Slaughter or something like that. A couple of '80s acts, and then Ace. It's at the Louisville Amphitheater. So it's like an hour and a half away.
I was gonna say Louisville's not too far from us.
It's hop, skip, and a jump, and it's like that'd be really cool to go see. I think it's like July 12th or something like that. So it's in just a few weeks. So. I don't know. We'll see. I doubt it. But I'm just putting it out there because...
maybe the stars will align.
Maybe the stars will align. Maybe because I was like, I know I just saw Ace this year. We saw him last year.
Yeah.
But how many times am I going to... And I just saw Gene, last month. So... But these are my boys, man. These are our guys.
I was going to say, you're at the point where you kind of want to take every chance you get.
I just want to soak it all in.
Yeah.
I want to support them. I really do. I love these guys. I love that they're still playing these songs, our favorite songs. So yeah, I definitely hope I can get out to that Ace show somehow. This is a dead horse at this point, but you were not here last time, so if everybody wants to skip past this part, go right ahead. But I gotta ask Daphne again. So, what was your immediate reaction when I told you that there was a possibility? Yeah, again, it's not set in stone, people. But that, to me, again, when I read it, I was like, it's like two worlds colliding.
Yeah.
And that's happening a lot lately.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
If we didn't make it clear, it's about the possibility of Nick Jonas
playing Paul Stanley
in the biopic.
Yeah. Shout it out loud, which hasn't even begun filming. Production hasn't even started yet. They're still casting. They'll be casting when I'm in my 50s, right? Like,
right.
We'll see what happens.
We're not holding our breath for this project. But
using your imagination, what was it like when you thought, whoa, Nick Jonas, the Star Child?
So, obviously that was my first reaction was, excuse me?
Excuse me? Baking powder?
I was like, what? But then the more I thought about it, I'm going to be honest, the more I love it.
I know.
And
I thought about it and I was like, oh, that could work.
I know that's an unpopular opinion, especially with generations older than us, but as people that grew up
watching Jonas
in the Jonas Brother era, I know that a lot of people that don't follow them and are maybe from different generations probably still think of the Jonas Brothers as like a little teenage like a boy band kind of thing.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, this is 2025.
That was 15 years ago.
They are all in their 30s and like married with children, are actually very talented musicians, whether you like their music or not.
Right.
In fact, Nick has been on Broadway multiple times. I
forgot about that.
He has a great voice, and he has even if you don't like his Jonas Brothers voice, which is very specific and a little whiny, a lot of people kind of make fun of it.
Teenage nasally pop voice, yeah.
But he is kind of a vocal, like, chameleon. He doesn't always sing like that. Like, he is on Broadway and has a really good voice and is able to do different things with his voice, and he's a good actor. So I can kind of see it. I can kind of see it.
I would love to see it.
Yeah, I'm honestly not mad about it. Like, I'll withhold judgment too much and see what happens if it even happens, but I kind of love it.
The one thing that somebody did say that I can see this was that they are in their, or that he is in his 30s.
Right. Maybe he's too old at this point.
And that maybe, they should be looking for somebody who's in their early 20s.
And that's a totally valid point. And I would honestly prefer more age-appropriate casting, but also, like,
unless they can make him look younger, and that happens all the time.
Well, I was going to say, also, that's not a new thing. First of all, he does look pretty young for his age already, so I don't think it'd be that hard for him to pull off playing a 20-something-year-old. And he's the youngest of the Jonas Brothers, so he's probably only, like, early 30s.
He is the youngest, you're right.
Yeah, Is
Kevin the oldest?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they could make him look younger, but also that is just what's typically done. I mean, in Hollywood, there's hardly ever age-appropriate casting. It's just...
Maybe Frankie could play maybe Frankie could play Paul Stanley.
Frankie Jonas. I'm sure none of these people even know
who Frankie Jonas is. He's the forgotten Jonas brother. He's the fourth one, man.
Frankie.
There were others that said maybe they should be... And this one I can also see. Maybe they should be casting people who are not well-known.
See, that is also what I would prefer, but at the same time, I completely understand stunt casting, because that's what gets people interested.
I am almost okay with if they were to have all four of them be somewhat well-known names.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think, how crazy would it be?
Who else would it be? I can't think of anybody.
How crazy would it be to have four, like, A-list, household names?
Yeah.
Play the guys in Kiss, because
that's
going to reach so many people.
Everyone would go see that movie. So
everybody would see that movie, and
I get it.
And you would have people who would be like, you know what? Maybe Kiss isn't so bad after all. Like,
right.
well, Nick's going to play the Paul. Let me listen to this a little bit. Because I feel like people don't understand. They look at Kiss and they either see, oh, they're only there for the marketing.
Yeah, gimmick.
Some people look at Kiss and they go, oh, they're scary and they're evil.
Yeah.
Some people look at Kiss and they go, oh, they're jokes. They're a clown.
Right.
This is a joke, Right. So I feel like once you start actually listening to the music, it's like, oh, Paul Stanley can write. He can sing.
Yeah.
And I think that when you have an artist who you're familiar with, you can gain that familiarity or gain a respect for the unfamiliar because of the familiar.
Yes.
And so because if somebody was a fan of Nick Jonas, they're seeing him in that context, all of a sudden it's like, okay, well now when you look at Kiss, it feels more at home, as opposed to where Kiss, like, oh, that's my dad's music, that's my grandpa's music, whatever it is, and now it feels relevant again, it feels new.
All the Jonas Brothers fans, of which there are a lot, would become Kiss fans. And, like, you guys might hate that.
Now, some people might hate that. I know.
I hate that, but you shouldn't.
I said that thinking it was a good thing, but now I can see people might not like that.
It is a good thing, and I don't care what people say, because it is a good thing. You should... I'm sorry, if we want the legacy of this band to live on, you should be welcoming younger generations in.
Yes.
No matter how they come in. Like, whether they come from Youngblood's cover of I Was Made for Loving You, or Nick Jonas potentially being in the biopic. Like, I understand your gripes, but at the same time, I really think we should take these as opportunities to welcome people into the fold.
You bring up a good point, because the gatekeeping in the Kiss fandom has gotten so bad.
It's ridiculous.
It's gotten so bad to where, I feel like, it must suck if you're a younger fan. Like, we're not even the young fans anymore. I'm talking like your 12-year-olds, your 15-year-olds, your 16-year-olds. Like, it must suck, because if you just don't know everything and you make one mistake, it's like people will just...
Yeah, you're just ostracized completely.
People will just drag you, and it's like, look, I don't even know everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not supposed to. If I do, that's boring. You know what I mean? I love to learn, and I want to learn and to appreciate. So I'm excited to see whether it happens to this or not. I'm not saying that Nick is going to save Kiss or anybody is going to save Kiss, but I think that what happens in the future, is obviously going to dictate what happens with the legacy and who's going to be involved. And so I think the more, and nobody wants to see posers coming in, that's not what I'm talking about, but having that exposure to Kiss's music, Kiss's legacy and their image and, just everything that they are, I think would be a good thing. And,
I agree.
And no matter what they do, again, this might not even happen, this biopic. But
right.
I think it'd be really cool to see. It could be either 4 completely unknown, like Gene and Paul and Peter and Ace were.
Yeah.
Just completely 4 unknown names, so that when we look at them, we only associate them with that character. Or it could be a case of like the Beatles on.
Yes, the Beatles biopics. Yeah.
No.
Oh, I thought that's what you were talking about.
Beatles Walk Hard, Dewey Cox.
Yeah.
Where you had Jack Black as Paul McCartney, and Jack Black was not
Which is
playing.
So not accurate, but funny.
But it was perfect. You know what I mean? But then you had Justin Long, who was playing a pretty perfect
accurate George Harrison.
Yeah. And then Paul Rudd was John Lennon. And so it was like they were, even though those are names that we know of elsewhere, for that one moment, that one role, that one context, they nailed it.
Well, it's funny that you bring that up because I thought you were going to say the Beatles biopics that are coming out in a few years because those got cast recently.
Really?
And those, we've talked about this.
Oh, okay.
Those, they're definitely stunt casts, but in a way that I'm not super excited about, but I'm also trying to withhold judgment. They've kind of cast the 4, current most popular British/UK actors.
Chalamet, is he in it?
No, he's American.
Oh, he's American, okay.
But,
he's in everything, though.
We've got Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things is George Harrison. Barry Keoghan, who's in a lot of stuff, looks absolutely nothing like Ringo Starr, is Ringo Starr.
Oh, man.
Who is the guy that's playing John, I know has been in things, but I don't know him.
Okay.
Who is the 4th one?
Who's playing Paul?
Oh, Paul Mescal, who looks absolutely nothing like Paul McCartney, and I don't see the vibe at all. But again, I understand stunt casting, and especially with Kiss, even though, like I said before, my ideal situation would be to have complete unknowns, so that you're not thinking about the Jonas Brothers or whoever else when you're watching this. You're just thinking about Kiss, and also I just love. That opportunity for lesser known actors to have that chance. But at the same time, especially because, no offense, Kiss is not the Beatles. I feel like the Beatles probably could have cast anybody and people would have gone to see those. Whereas this, you might need that boost. You might need that boost of a big actor for the general public to want to go see it rather than just Kiss fans.
Kiss fans and rock fans,
I see it both ways, but I'm kind of excited about the possibility.
I would also hope that they would pay attention to, because now that you're saying it's about the Beatles thing and how there's no, doesn't even look like him. Nick Jonas, I can see looking like...
He kind of looks like him.
Paul in the makeup. Just put a wig on him, great.
Yeah, he's got the dark curly hair already.
He has Paul has a very defined jawline and chin, so I feel like if you have somebody with a round face playing Paul, it ain't going to work.
Yeah.
Because Paul's face isn't round.
Nick does suit the part visually.
Yes, and so I feel like what it's going to come down to with Kiss is the guys that are playing them need to look like them in the makeup.
Right, yeah.
And that's going to play a big part because obviously Kiss looks a certain way, and it's easy to spot a tribute band.
Right.
Because they look like a tribute band.
Yeah.
So hopefully we don't see tribute band looking Kiss in this biopic. So I think that they should also, obviously you want to focus on acting ability and look. I think should be the 2 things here. I think that if you have somebody who looks like Gene and can embody the demon and moves like Gene and can handle himself like Gene, but as a no-name, cast him.
Absolutely.
Make him into a name.
Right.
You know what I mean? Cast him alongside Nick Jonas, who's playing Paul Stanley, so that they can do red carpets, and now it's star with no star, and star who's no star becomes a star.
100%.
You know what I mean?
That'd be awesome.
There's ways that you can do that, but I think that the focus should be mainly... can you...
Just who's best for the part.
Can you respect the character?
Yeah.
Can you embody the character? Can you develop the character and do something for the... Or can you serve the project?
Yeah.
As opposed to, what's your net worth?
Right. Yeah.
Although sometimes a net worth can bring something to a movie.
Right.
It brings eyes.
Yeah.
So... That was interesting. I didn't think it would go like that. I was like, I'm just going to talk to you about Nick Jonas.
I had a lot of thoughts.
And we'll laugh about it and then we'll move on. But that actually got a little deeper than I anticipated. So... very cool.
It's been interesting the past few weeks to see just the discourse and the opinions on this.
Yeah.
I knew my first thought
I knew it was going to be.
My first two thoughts on seeing that was, first of all, like, oh my gosh, that could be kind of cool, and then, oh my gosh, everybody's gonna hate this.
Yeah, I know. I saw it and thought, because again, I was like, it's gonna be generational. Because I was like, no freaking way, this is like two worlds colliding. And then I was like,
my childhood.
No, now I gotta read.
We were in the grocery store. We were in the grocery store like two or 3 days ago, and a Jonas Brothers song, like, from our childhood came on. And literally just, like, the first two words, we were like...
We had to stop and be like, what the heck? Is it, like, 09 again? 2010? 2011? It was wild.
Yeah, that's our time.
I'm not saying I'm, like, a Jonas Brothers fan.
No, I only kind of was.
But I remember when they were big. Like,
yeah.
I mean, they had the show Jonas.
Which was terrible, but great.
Which was terrible. It was fun to watch, but there was Jonas Forever, which was, like, the spin-off / the final season version of it. And, they had all their songs on Disney Channel.
Yeah.
And they were just everywhere. And then they broke up, of course.
And they were all, like, dating, like, Miley Cyrus, Selena Gomez, Taylor Swift, Demi Lovato. Like,
everybody.
Yeah, they were huge.
Everybody was, golden age of Disney right there.
Yeah.
But it's funny because, like, we're seeing a lot of the Disney and Nick colliding with Kiss now. I love that.
What else?
Well, remember when we went and saw Why Him?
Oh, yes.
And the girl that played Maya in Sweet Life on Deck was the lead actress.
That's true.
And her father likes Kiss, and so she's there talking face to face with Kiss. I'm like, man, Maya is like face to face with, like, where's Zach? You know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy. And then there was the commercial that Paul did with Workday the first time.
Oh my gosh, yeah, they had the girl from iCarly.
Yes, the actress for Nora Dershlit. And I'm like, what the heck? Don't get near her. She'll lock you in your basement with that chicken.
Everybody watching except for maybe Emily Graziano.
Emily Graziano.
Like, what?
Maybe Glenn, Tales of a Kiss Geek.
Maybe Glenn, yeah.
Maybe Dylan from Record Spinner.
Yeah.
Jeb's got his face in his palm. He's embarrassed.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, but no, only a few people that we're talking about. But I just love seeing... some of those Disney Nick actors, like,
crossing paths
with the Kiss, because, like, again, that's one thing that you, like, divide that line.
Yeah.
You divide that line. There's your kid shows, and your rock and roll, your music, and then these actors are growing up, and so it's just cool to see.
Good stuff.
It's cool to see. Anyway, yeah, how about that for a fun, quick episode? I do have one thing to show today in today's episode for the Collector's Corner. I've been slowing down a little bit. I told you guys I was going to slow down last year, and I lied. So I'm making up for that in 2025. I've been slowing down a little bit, only buying things that I really need.
Such as...
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. I've been only buying things that I really want.
Okay, there you go. Thank you. I was like, I know you're about to pull out something that you do not need.
Well... No, but when I say it, you'll understand.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. It's fine. Whatever.
Okay,
anyway, so I have another shirt.
Okay.
Another vintage Indiana concert tee. So this is from the reunion show.
That's sick.
This is from October 15th, 1996, from Market Square Arena, and on the Alive Worldwide tour, which was, of course, the reunion tour. I was there. I was not there. But I don't know if this is the show that my parents were at, because this is weird, because Kiss played Indianapolis twice on this tour.
Okay.
Within 2 months, 3 months, at the same place.
Weird.
Kiss has never...
I was going to say, that's not common.
They never played, Ruoff, and then came back to Ruoff 2 months later. No. And again, of course, it wasn't the reunion tour, so maybe that was... But, like, it was crazy. They played in August of 96 at Market Square Arena. And then they came back and played in October of the same year. And again, these shirts at this point, even the reunion stuff and the Psycho Circus and the farewell stuff is becoming vintage now.
Yeah,
which is weird to think about because in terms of our timeline, Kiss fan timeline, when Kiss fans became Kiss fans in the 70s, and we're doing the whole convention thing in the 90s. 20, 30 years later. All that stuff was vintage, and then now here we are with this stuff from when I was a kid that's now 30 years later.
I was going to say,
also becoming vintage. It's weird.
As old, if not actually a little bit older than me. I think it counts.
This is a year older than you,
yep.
And I'm a year older than it.
This
thing is a millennial. This t-shirt is a freaking millennial. But I must say, it has been kept remarkably
it's in
well.
fantastic condition.
Remarkably
Very
well.
Cool graphic.
I don't think this person wore it, and if they did, they wore it that night.
Minimally, yeah.
Maybe once afterwards. This is an extra large. Still has the tag on it. Nothing is faded. Nothing is cracked.
I love it.
The last shirt that I bought, which was from the farewell tour, I think it was the same place, just on the farewell tour 4 years later, and that shirt was cracking, and you could tell it was miscolored.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't care. I still
Right,
bought it, and
so
I still wore it. And I'll probably still wear this one, too. But, yeah, I was really impressed with this one and how well... Did I say October 16th? I meant October 15th. I'm not sure what I said. If I said 16th, I meant October 15th. Yeah, October 15th, 96. Kiss was there. Setting Indianapolis on fire.
Nice.
I really do love the city-specific T-shirts.
Oh, it's the best. Yeah.
I wish there were more tours that had them. Although I understand the logistics.
Yeah.
You know, if you have one design for the whole tour, every city you're good to go. But if you're playing 100 shows, that's 100 different shirts that you got to get designed. I was gonna say,
and you don't have as much go to waste that way because I understand like if you only sell half of the shirts in one city, then you have all these Indianapolis T-shirts
that you paid for.
Yeah, so I get it, but they are totally so cool.
But anytime they did that, like in 2014, they did that, and that might have been the last time.
Yeah.
Because every tour after that, we looked and made sure to look at the merch stands. Because I don't think 2014 on the 4th anniversary tour, no other city had, and if it was, it had to been very specific because on a tour like this, every city had their own shirt. Right. All you had to do was just change out the name.
Yeah.
But in 2014, on the 4th anniversary tour, we had a very special I Am Indy.
Yeah.
With the Indy 500 flags.
Yeah.
And it was for Indy.
Very Indy specific.
That's not one that you can just like switch
change
out
one
something.
Thing. Yeah.
So I was like, wow, that's really cool. And I looked every single tour, Freedom to Rock, and of course End of the Road tour, and they never did have one. So whenever I see these from the 90s, I go for them. And there's only, I think, okay, so this was October. I need obviously the one from August now.
Right.
And then there's a shirt from Psycho Circus.
Ooh, I bet that's cool.
December 13th, Indianapolis. Well, I guess in that case I would need the one from Terre Haute as well. So I've got a few to go. Yeah. I've still got some vintage T-shirts to go, but that's kind of been my thing. You guys know that.
Yeah, it's a good little addition to the collection.
I've been collecting a lot of Indiana-specific Kiss items. That's been my thing now for about a year and a half, and it's going to be my thing for a lot longer. But anyway, that's the one item I wanted to show today. That's it. I'm curious as to what you guys have been collecting, because I know that even though I've been slowing down, you guys probably haven't. So I'm curious to see what you guys hear about, what you guys have been collecting. What's your current rabbit hole? Rick's always talking about the rabbit hole he's going in. People on Facebook and Instagram are always talking about their latest the game that they're in. So me, it's Kiss Indiana.
I love it.
I love it. Indiana.
Speaking of Rick, before we move on, can I mention something real quick?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we just wanted to give a quick little tribute. If you guys don't watch Rick from It's All For You Demon, first of all, you probably do if you watch us, but second of all, you definitely should. But also, we just wanted to give him a shout out this week because he unfortunately has lost another one of his dogs, Pee-wee. And his dogs, his Great Danes especially, have been such a big part of his channel over the years. And unfortunately, we lost Large Marge a couple years ago and Pee-wee this year. And I know that's been really hard for him. And we always love seeing the dogs. Pee-wee and most recently Little Strutter Boy on his channel.
Yeah.
And we know how hard it is to lose a pet. So we just wanted to say shout out to Rick. And R.I.P. to Large Marge and Pee-wee. Yeah,
I mean, again, you said it best. They're like they're the mascots of the channel. Yeah. They're like his co-hosts, and so I mean, it would be like if you were Jeb, gone. Yeah. And it's like, that's a big part of the show, big part of the channel.
I know. This is gonna sound silly, but I'm gonna miss watching his videos and him having to stop because Pee-wee is loudly drinking water.
Yes.
off camera. It's so loud.
Maybe Sugar Boy will take up the tradition.
Maybe he will.
Maybe, but
our hearts go out to you, Rick. We love you, and we just wanted to shout out
we love Pee-wee. You. We love your show. I love your channel. We love your pups as well, and so we're very sorry for that, but we wanted to give you some space in the show, and we know that everybody's thinking about you, and we're very sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
And as we're kind of getting to the end here, I know it's the end of June. We're heading in July, which means it's Kiss Museum time. It's summer 2025. The return of Kiss Museum is here, guys.
That's right.
So, depending on when you're watching this, Peter is on his way.
Yeah.
He's on his way. We have our map lined out of where we're hitting. We're getting a U-Haul. We're going to, go pick up some awesome Kiss collections, and we're going to start piecing them out so that collectors can have Just another way of having access to some of the best merchandise ever. Of course, it's the site. Kiss Museum has been the go-to site.
You guys know.
Yeah, you guys know. So Peter and I have been talking extensively. We're both very excited to get this going. We don't have an exact date yet, but that's okay because I plan on having him on the show to tell you guys when that's going to be. So expect Peter to be on the show at some point in the next couple weeks. We're going to be sitting down talking about his business, talking about his life, talking about his love of Kiss, and I am super thrilled to have him on the show. And so what I want from you guys is I want you guys to leave some questions for him, okay? I want to do a Q&A. I mean, we're going to have a conversation as it is, but I want to really bring you guys in on the conversation as well. Leave your comments and leave your questions for Peter in the comments below on this video. I'm going to go through the best ones, and I'm going to take your questions, and I'm going to ask Peter.
I love
that.
And
I cannot wait to get his answers. I mean, I've already heard a lot of his stories. I mean, he's been doing this, guys, for 40 years, okay? You know he's seen some things, he's heard some things, and been around the block and had some incredible experiences. And so, yes, if there's anything you guys want to know, if there's anything that you're curious about, or want to know about his experiences, just let me know in the comments. I'll be sure to go through them, line the best ones up, and have Peter on the show to talk about that. But yes, so what you guys can expect is, so next time, the schedule is going to get a little weird. I'm not sure if it'll be a video next week or the week after, depending on what happens, because we're going to be pretty busy.
Yeah.
But the idea is to have him on the show, sitting down with me, talking about the Return of Kiss Museum. We're going to have an exact date for you guys for the website to launch. So it's definitely going to be in July. So we're gearing up right now for the Return of Kiss Museum. I even have a new shirt design up on TeePublic. If you guys want to, you can guys get the Return of Kiss t-shirt.
That's awesome.
We also have stickers and magnets.
The Return of Kiss Museum.
The Return of Kiss Museum, yes. We have t-shirts, we have magnets, we have all that stuff. So go to TeePublic. There's a link right below this video. Check it out. That we modeled after the Return of Kiss Dynasty
so cool.
Tour Pass. So yeah, this is a very exciting time for me, for Peter, and hopefully for you guys as well. So we're very excited to get Kiss Museum back up and running, and we'll of course have more information on that next time. And thankfully, Peter, he watches our channel.
Yeah.
Because I did a video last week talking about, I finally got those Kiss photo slides scanned in a little bit.
Yep.
I got a few of them scanned in, and he must have watched it because he commented and was dropped some knowledge for us.
Yeah.
So I was curious in the video talking about the Grauman's Theater that Kiss was photographed in front of back in like February. It was February 76. And, everyone always says, yeah, they planted their boots out in cement. And I'm like, but did they really though? Because I did some research. There's no photographs of that.
I was going to say, and people would go take photos of that all the time if that was true.
Yeah, there's no photos from back then. There's no photos from now. There's no articles saying when it was torn down, tore apart, when it happened, how it happened. Nothing. Yeah. Nothing. So I'm like, I doubt it. Peter Arquette drops some knowledge and says, actually, what fans are confusing that with is when Kiss was at Peaches Records in Atlanta, Georgia, December 5th, 75. Just a few months before that,
okay,
they were at Peaches Records in Georgia, Florida for an in-store record store appearance. And after that, they did both their hands and their boots outside, in front. Plenty of photographs for that. What an awesome event that was. I had seen the in-store photos, but never the outside.
Okay, cool.
So I got to see some stuff for the first time.
That's awesome.
Huge thank you to Peter for that correction, because again, Peter's been doing this a long time, so he has all kinds of knowledge.
Absolutely.
And I'm really excited to have him come down here with us, visit with us, stay with us, but also just getting to go around traveling with him and talking and sharing stories. That's why I'm going to have him on the show, because I know Peter, he doesn't have any social media, nothing like that. Never had a reason to. So most people know who he is, but they don't know who he is. So I'm excited to have him on the show. I'm excited to sit down, ask him some questions, ask him your questions. So be sure to leave those in the comments, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Is there anything else we need to talk about before we're heading out here today? I think it was a nice, really short, sweet, to the point episode.
I know. We said it was going to be short, and it still was, but I feel like we ended up having more to say than we thought we would, which always happens.
Which always happens. There's always something to share about Kiss, always something to talk about, always something to celebrate, and it's better celebrating with you guys.
Absolutely.
So thank you for being here. Shout out to the Patreon subscribers. I really do appreciate you guys. I have an exclusive Patreon video for you coming next week, and then as well as the July newsletter will be coming out the week after that. So,
nice.
Yes, if you're not on the Patreon, subscribe now. Now's the time. Thank you to those that do. And we'll see you guys in the next episode, episode 146 of the Kiss Army Things podcast. Until then, my name is Xander.
My name is Daphne.
You guys stay safe, peace out, and rock on.